Yo. Can I get that video? Maybe not, maybe so. I can't get video. Now I can. What's good?
What's up? How you doing?
How has the chest recovered from all the cigars and the keys?
There's something
What did you
about
smoke in the keys?
I smoked. I've been like smoking milder cigars like Davidoff Signature #2s. I bought a little box of those and I was just chilling. I've been drinking with the reason I've been smoking milder ones is for Lent, I gave up hard alcohol. So I just drink wine. I've been drinking wine and some beer and some, and that's about it, basically. So a nice mild cigar with a nice Cabernet. Something about being in the Keys, Lance, where you can see the stars at night and there's, it's very quiet and there's just the palm trees and the breeze, like you're really like out there, right?
Were you so you were in Island Murata?
Yeah.
Were you like at a house Airbnb or like a resort?
I was at an overpriced resort.
Oh, okay. Because they don't have a lot of resorts in the Keys. Usually it's like those little like kind of houses like on canals and stuff.
No, this was a resort, the same place like 10 years ago would have been like a few $100. And now it's over north of a grand, I have to get a suite. I got kids, I got lots of people. So whatever. But it was nice. I needed, dude. I was getting a little bit, this market's been, been fun, but been stressful because it's nonstop news, right? And it was spring break for the kids. So what have you been up to?
Oh yeah, it was spring break. If you want to laugh, so hold on, let me turn on the slide. So it's spring break over here, right? So my neighbor, they must be out of town. And they have a son who's in college, like just started college and plays lacrosse.
Yeah.
And he goes, what's the college by you? Kind of like Boca del Rey.
FAU. They're the Final Four. They're in the Final Four, FAU.
So he goes there, right? So last night, or yesterday, I should say, I see like chugging beers, counting. They're on the boat. They're on the jet skis. They got like 15 people on the boat. And my buddy comes over and he's helping me. Like I got this gate for my fence, like putting it up. And he looks over, he goes, dude, what's going on with these college kids? It's 15 guys on a boat, not one chick. And all night, I just hear the guys. They're out there shooting guns because you can shoot out here. It's out of city limits and stuff. And it's just the college boys all night, like partying, drinking.
So Miami Beach is a total shit show. Like people are getting shot. Like it's so bad, right? Like, they have like lost complete control of the city. And I live like 5 miles from Miami Beach. So it's a little bit out of, it's not really like, it's not where I live, but it's close enough. So like, anyways, they were like they were like dudes like boxing, like fighting each other on the beach. And I saw it on the local news and I looked at my wife and I go, when I was in college at Florida State, we were not interacting with other men at all.
That's what my buddy said the same thing. He's like, what are the guys like? Are they all like,
we would drive a car together to a location and then they'd be like, yo Jay-Z, I haven't seen you in 4 days. What's good? And I'd be like, it was good. How are you?
Yeah, it was with the chick. You're picking up chicks. All these guys are on the boat and these little ass, bathing suits that barely even cover their thighs and stuff. These short, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, if I was I don't know, 20-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever they are, kid, like I would not want to be spending my whole day with these guys, like not one chick. And I was just baffled by it. Like it's a weird. I think that's I honestly think it's nowadays, like this is kind of the new culture.
It's TikTok. It's what TikTok's teaching our youth to do. The Chinese. It all goes back to TikTok. Just
dude,
ban it.
You want to know something else? And we'll get to stocks. I mean, this is a little bit about stocks. Maybe,
Oh, we haven't talked in a while, so it's
yeah.
they can wait. There'll be stocks.
Maybe we'll pull up like a boring real estate like ETF or something like
Right.
that. But you know what the new thing is? Being a landlord is like now being like a meanie. You know how it's like, oh, you're a cop, you're a pig, like now being a landlord is like
TikTok, dude.
you're like the devil.
Anti-capitalist. Anything that's like if you set out to try to like make money, if you set out to try to do something that adds value or serve it, like yeah, everybody wants like a free lunch. They want to sit home. They want to play video games. They want to do anything that doesn't make money, not be aggressive. Like I tell my wife says this to me all the time. She's like, how do you walk around in 2023? Like you're getting canceled every 15 seconds. And I'm like, I mainly use the golden rule. I tip the shit out of everyone I see.
Yeah,
like I
you
walk
have
into
to.
Publix and I'm $5 for people smiling at me. So I buy myself a little bit of leeway, but people in general are just like angry. I don't know. Like they don't like the system. This system is the best system in the world. I don't know. Somewhere along the lines, people got convinced that we're doing it wrong in the United States. And I implore every one of them to go to different countries, go to third world countries, go to these places. I've been to many of them. I've seen it firsthand. Go anywhere else.
I don't get it how you can say, like being a landlord, like when I was like in college, being like an entrepreneur was like the new thing. Like they were having like entrepreneur, the College of Business would have like, they just started like having classes and stuff.
Yeah. That's good.
And all kind of like your rich friends, their parents had real estate, like they had rental property, like, oh, so-and-so's got a beach condo this week. Awesome. Like their parents got a beach condo and it was cool. Or their grandparents, got some 1960s beach condo in St. Pete Beach. So I never would have thought owning real estate, being a landlord would be like now like a sin. Like you're looked down, like you're looked as like a pig. Like
I've got a friend who lives in New York City, and he's what you would call a slumlord. And him and his dad own, they're good. Like they're set, they're big time.
Yeah.
And they own a bunch of buildings in certain parts of Brooklyn, the Bronx, like the outer boroughs. And during COVID, they literally like bankrupted these guys, my buddy, because the communist state of New York and the city of New York wouldn't allow them to charge rent for a long time. They wouldn't allow them to raise rent.
Wow.
So they have loans, obviously, that they have to pay the bank.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get money to create the income they needed for their partners and for the bank that they owned. It's a mess. We live in a mess of a country. So now we're looking at these banks, right? Doug's telling us he ran a set of duplexes and had to pay taxes, Jill.
Yeah, you still have to pay property tax.
You had to pay taxes.
They don't get to. They say, oh, they raised my rent double. Well, you realize everything has gone up and repairs. What if your AC breaks? You're spending a few grand there. Like
so
there's
people are very impatient on our thread, right? They're like, get to the stocks. But if they're listening to this conversation, all this comes back to why banks are very risky. Let's think about that. What is the same common denominator that all these regional banks have a shit ton of that they don't want to have on their books, other than US Treasuries, is exposure to real estate. They have exposure to commercial real estate. They have exposure to places that have to charge tenants rent, businesses rent. And that's problematic. I don't know why you would have. Do we need 800 extra banks in the United States of America?
No, we don't.
Unregulated? I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
And do we need to have these other banks where we're picking the winners, and then the other banks that the other banks are kind of just left, for basically for dead? They said, like, if you're a small credit union and you screw up, then you're done. But if you're a big bank, it's okay. You're safe. We got you.
That's part of it.
It's kind of weird.
It's very weird. But it comes back to. Go ahead, Lance.
You have no confidence if you have your money like in a credit union or a small bank.
Listen, I was talking to a buddy of mine who's a banker. I was golfing with him this weekend, and he's like old school. He's old school, like banking. Like he's a good 15 years older than me. So everything is old school with him. So I'm like, dude, do we really need to have all these rinky dink little corner banks? And he's like, yeah, people still walk into banks. I'm like, do they? I mean, like, I disagree. I disagree. I think some people do. Older people, etc.
I think what it is knowing your money. Like knowing your money is 10 minutes away at the bank and you could go get it out is some things that people,
But
usually
isn't
the
that
older
such a
people,
fallacy? You think that it's safe because it's in a building that's
it's
2
in a
blocks
bank.
from you, but it's in a much riskier institution than the Bank of America.
But it's all up here though. It's all up here. Like, for example, let's say you had your money in some online bank, let's say like Ally Bank or something, right? All online. People don't want to put $1 million in that bank because they can't go and physically get the money out the next day, even though you kind of technically can't. But you know what I mean? It's more of that old school mentality of going in there. Hey, let me get down to let me get 20 grand out, or let me go talk to my lady at the bank that I see every day.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to deal with all the internet wire transfers, all that stuff.
No,
like that,
I can see that. I can see that. But you know why they got into this mess? They need, yeah. Or someone saying I must live in a city. I live in Miami. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
When people put their money in the local bank, they trust Bill or Bob or whoever they're talking to and saying, this is a good man. He's from my community, which is true. But what they don't understand is that Bill and Bob's boss took their deposits and took extra risk on their deposits because they have to compete against banks that have scale. They have economics in their favor. That's why Bank of America pays you 0.01% on your savings account. And some of these people will pay you 1.5%, 2% on a money market. They have to compete to have the right to exist. That money doesn't come from a magical money tree, that extra juice that they're paying you. They take extra risks to acquire that extra juice. That's what people don't understand in general. If in your head, you're thinking, this is too good to be true, it usually is, boys and girls.
Yep.
It usually is. That's my rant for the morning.
And that's what happened with everything over the past couple of years, right? Facts, crypto, all the EV bullshit, startups, fairy dust, all that stuff.
Most people are thrilled with 5% risk free. 5% risk free. Like if you've got, let's say you have $1 million, right? And you're getting an extra 50 G's without any risk.
No risk.
No risk. That's like a side job for your child. Like that's paying like a kid's college tuition for the year.
Paying your property taxes.
That's a lot. Property taxes. That's like that's a decent chunk of money to get for zero risk, right? Yep. Then people get greedy and they're like, well, I wish it was 10% risk free because then I'm dealing with a hundo a year. I'm getting
that's what happened with the bullshit crypto lending, the Celsius and all that other stuff where they were saying you get 13%. You want to get 5%, there's money market accounts paying 5% or just near it out there. So
there is.
Someone might have some that he got going on, right now. My guy from RJ is like, hey, you got this cash sitting in retirement. What do you want to do with it? I'm like, put it in a money market. I'm getting like 4.6%.
That's it. That's your answer. That's it.
He's like, do you want to get 12% on a S&P Russell 2000 note where you get 25% protection? I'm like, hell no. Like, I'm risk-free basically at 5%. Like,
yeah, you have a barbell mentality. So do I. I'm either risk-free or I'm full on risk. I don't play it in the middle. I'm either like playing cards or I'm not. I'm in or I'm out.
Right.
I have long-term stocks that I just hold. That's not true. So I do.
Like all my shit is in like Tesla, where I'm getting like 50% downside protection, freaking like 30% return.
Yeah.
If the stock doesn't go down 50%. And I'm like, they always offer it because Tesla is so volatile and stuff. And I'm like, I'm either going to lose it all or I'm going to make, a big chunk of money. But it's kind of the way I trade, right?
Totally. So look at this. Like this is what you guys are staring at here is this morning's Wall Street investment geniuses. Let's something different. We don't ever do because we don't have any earnings this week. We don't have any earnings this week, so I'm like, what are we going to talk about other than banks and interest rates? We'll look at that too. But I like to look at this in the morning when I get them. I get them like that's one of the beauties of my Bloomberg. I get all these things. So market's up again today, right? Like Nazi's been ripping. Nazi's been ripping because low interest rates going to take us to the promised land. So what if a couple of your local banks blow up? We don't care. Party's back on. So now we're seeing Roku caught my eye, raised at Susquehanna. Where has Susquehanna been through Roku's entire planning? They're ripped. They've doubled in like this year. Where have they been to upgrade them then?
Well, their probably price target last year was probably 300 and the stock $60. You should pull up their previous price targets and see how bad they are. Well, but I do love some of these names like KeyBank, $20 price target.
Yeah.
With the stock at 1186. Like they're so far behind these analysts. They're so bad.
Right.
It's comical.
It's comical. It's really comical. Like there was no sells on Silicon Valley Bank, literally the day they went bankrupt. There were 0 sells from Wall Street.
Go to Roku. I'm curious. I want to see all these price targets that are like 200, 300, you know.
All right. So we've got 75, 79, 80. So this is a list of what everybody has on Roku right now.
And they're all upgrading it over the past month.
Correct.
But let's go back to where they were.
Let's look at Shyam at Susquehanna, Shyam Patil that did their move today, right? Let's see what Shyam's been saying about this. So Shyam today is making it positive and making it a buy. So Shyam was neutral on this stock since July 2022. Neutral on this stock. And what has Roku done since July 22?
It went from about 90 to 60. 90 all the way down to 40. So you think she could hold a 50% price cut?
That's what I'm saying. Like these people are always late to the game. They're late to the game. What else do we have on that email? Let's go back.
You know what's wild though? Stocks are barely even moving on upgrades anymore. You know, like Roku's only up $2, $2.50 pre-market.
Nobody because people like me are like, that might be like a very good short today. Let's look at Roku for a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no one's really buying these. So
I'm getting a little bit more bearish on the NASDAQ since this last move, because if we do have a full-on crisis, which I'm not sure we will, no one really knows, it's not going to be good for the general economy, right? To have banks really going out left and right. Well, and if we don't, rates are just going to go back up, right?
The only reason why the market's bid today, like the Dow and S&P, is because of the damn FRC, First Republic Bank. And
I know
the banks caught a bid today, but they caught a bid. They caught a bid. Friday. They caught a bid last Tuesday
and Tuesday,
and then they took out their lows. So,
but look at I'd like Tech TQQ, my favorite Ponzi flipper.
Your favorite leveraged ETF.
This is a good day to buy puts in this thing. I think it's a good day. It's not up as much as you would think it should be. That's a sign.
Well,
that's a sign. Everything else is leading.
The Qs are definitely lagging today because why? No exposure to banks. What's up the most today? The Russell. Why? Small cap, regional banks. Regional banks up a lot with FRC. So all the shit stocks, which now we have to include banks and shit stocks.
We have to.
You know,
they are the shit stocks.
The shit stock banks are up. But dude, here's the issue, and that what people have to realize: if you're trading, let's say FRC, the shit bank, pull up the implied move today in FRC. Go pull it up the options. You want to laugh, or on Bloomberg, whatever.
No, we got it.
Implied vol 650%.
The stock traded up last week, right? Like you said, on what was it, Tuesday? And then it gave it all back.
Tuesday, it gapped up. It went from like well, no, before last week. Last week it just went down. But like put it this way, the stock went from $17 to $50 in a day. Then it went down from $50 to $30, $30 to $22. You know, so it moves like 50% a day. You know, and obviously the options have implied that.
That's a hard stock to trade. The other financials are not as centrally like The other regional banks are better.
Yeah,
MTD,
you could do the
Zion,
KRE and
KeyBank.
not have to pay,
Yeah, yeah.
you're
You'll
only
get
looking around like
9% moves, not 30% moves. Right.
exactly,
One
exactly.
third, about a third of the vol. But these guys might go out. It's the difference. These guys are sitting on plutonium, man. They have like an entire treasure trove of dog shit in their books.
Well,
I mean,
but isn't that what all the Kramers and people were telling you to buy banks all the past couple weeks, and then they
dude,
were going
I
down
was on a thing.
50%.
Yeah, I don't want to name. I was on a thing where one of the guys, I mean, he was like,
Buy the banks, their book value is safe, and
yeah,
then
I had
obviously
one of
their
those
book value is all
conversations. You know
bullshit.
what I'm saying, Lance? I had one of those combos.
Oh yeah, with the people who trading illiquid stocks and all that
They
other
were
stuff.
probably I mean, to be fair, they were probably talking with like a 3-year time frame. Like, I don't want to be
Yeah,
insolvent
yeah.
in April or May. They probably can sit on some plutonium till
What
2026.
Well, dude, I think like if you say Lance in 3 years, is JP Morgan going to be higher or lower? I would say probably higher. I think it's like one of the best banks out there, Jamie Dimon. But in terms of trading, I only care what the stock's going to do in the next day or two. But like I think JP Morgan could be $150 in like a year or two. But there's no
I
way
think the
I'm going to
big
just
banks are going to benefit from all of this when it's all said and done. They're
oh
going to
well they're
gobble
gonna
all
yeah
these people up. They're going to gobble all these people up. And, there's already been a big flight of capital out of regional banks into bigger banks. I mean, why wouldn't there be? Like, if you're sitting there and you're like, and have, over the uninsured amount of deposits, wouldn't you want it to be in an insured place, or do you want Janet Yellen to decide your fate on a Sunday
right,
night? I mean,
dude.
it's up to you.
It's I can't say shit though. I'm long Schwab. I bought Schwab last week and
Well, that's
calls.
going to be good today.
Yeah, it should be up probably 25-30% the options. I bought some Schwabi well, I guess I shouldn't tell the exact trade, but I bought some Schwab double nickels. You know what double nickels are?
No, let's go.
Double nickels. The speed limit 55. So
Also known as the Sammy Hagar.
yes, there you go. So I bought some Schwab calls and stocks up about what $2 this morning, so that should be good.
Yeah. Trading a
Lots of
little.
boring stocks last week. Walmart, Schwab, more like going all the way out till May, which is like super long dated for me.
That's wild. You're doing the May 19s?
Yeah, yeah. Wally World too. Like even Wally World, I bought some in the money calls.
I like that. These are not expensive at all for
No, they were so cheap.
53 days.
Right? Look how cheap they are.
2%.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. That's a good
I
trade.
love it.
I like that trade. This is the kind of trade. So learn it. There's people out there. We're going to talk about specific stocks. I think we've talked about like 15 specific stocks already, but like this is a teachable moment for people out there. This is the kind of stock that's totally not pricing in anything happening. So you could have like them come out and say, we're having our best year ever, whatever. And the options will be completely blindsided by that. And that's how you get a triple, quadruple bagger, basically, in a longer term, long dated thing. Because otherwise, the longer, I don't know if people know this, the longer dated you go, the worse you are at the money.
Yeah, exactly.
You just are. So this is a good deal, dude. This stock could easily trade 150, 160, 155.
Yeah, that's what I think. So,
yeah,
I'm not doing anything crazy
no.
here, obviously, because you don't know, especially over the weekend with all these banks.
I
and
don't like
stuff.
this tape at all, dude. If I'm being honest, I'm a little bearish on the Nasdaq here. I think it's shot on this low interest rates.
Yep.
I think interest rates going to start to levitate a little bit. I think they overdid it on the downside. There's like 120 basis points of difference between what the Fed tells you they're going to charge for the Fed funds rate and what the market thinks they're going to charge. And I think the Fed's going to be closer to their own truth than the market. The market overshoots always. And I think they did again this time. So NDX has had, a nice little ripper over the last month. 6%. on the back of 10 years falling off a cliff.
Yeah, I made good money the past couple weeks, but every time I get a pop, I've been selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been day trading a lot more. I had one of my
Day
stocks
trading.
got pumped. Yeah, I had one of my stocks got pumped by CNBC, and I was at lunch, and when I came back, I saw it was a CNBC pump.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck. So of course it sold off after the pump. But but like any little move, I'm just taking profits. I mean, the Nasdaq's already rolling over this morning. If you pull up the Nasdaq futures, we're already 30 off the highs.
I mean, I keep telling people like, people are like, tell me what to do. And I've been sitting here for like the last 15 minutes telling you to short the Nasdaq. I don't know what else you want. Do you want me to come
Short
to your
the
house and make you
Nasdaq.
coffee?
I
You want me
would
to
say
come and
buy
make you coffee
Schwab, buy
too?
Walmart, but I'll probably close them this morning if my options go up 30%
I think this
or
Roku
so.
might be an excellent short on the upgrade today.
Yeah, that I like that. I like that for a short. I like the Roku. I like Roku puts. I think you reshort the banks if they pop.
Yes.
If they pop for a couple days, I
I've
think
been
you
watching this
reshort the
bad
banks.
boy, this Zion. I don't know why.
Oh, that shit.
Yeah, it's a
That
dog. And this one, Key.
Key Ozarks, another one, OZK.
Yeah,
Or you could just do the KRE, just do the
right.
regional
ETF.
banks.
I
Yeah.
don't know though. I like the action. I like the action in the individual ones because you have that black swanish whisper thing that goes on. Oh,
You do.
this is the bad bank. And when you get those flares, you don't get the same dramatic move in the ETF because they're like, not all of them. So you want to have like that day you wake up and on Twitter you go on Zion and they go Zion's going out and then Zion's
Yeah,
down
that's true.
25%.
It's fun too.
You
I
need
mean,
that optionality. Right?
You mentioned Deutsche Bank
I
last
did.
week, which I don't know if
Yeah,
anyone
it's up. It's up
remembers.
a bit, but they're not by any stretch of the imagination out of the woods. We were
No, like
talking
that's
about it. It
another
was like
bank.
I think it was like a $12 stock when we talked about it.
Yeah, then it crashed. I think you could reshort stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo's another shit stock. There's stuff out there that you can
I like this
reload
long
on
retail.
puts.
I like this long like Walmart retail. I like long Walmart.
Flight to
Maybe
safety.
Dollar Tree even is a good recession stock. Did you know that? That was one of the only stocks that were up in the S&P 500 in 2008. Is Dollar Tree.
Yep.
So I think we've given enough freebies for the hungry crowd today.
I think the shit that sucks on pops, you sell it. The stuff that's good, like your AMDs, your Nvidias, your Tesla, those are your kind of crack names where you can day trade. Like Tesla's been fantastic, great day trading. And then for swings, if you want swing longs, go to boring stuff. Dollar Tree, like you mentioned, Walmart, probably throw in Target in there.
So
you
can't buy the first dip in a stock that's been up 50% in 2 weeks.
But you really want to go to these names where the implied vol isn't crazy. It's like the bank's implied vol is insane. You really wanted to go to these names with low beta stocks. Implied vol is cheap. You could buy a kind of a not so risky option for cheap. And if you want to trade the crazy stocks, just day trade them or do like a small size and hold
fading the open has been an awesome move, by the way. Just in general, like we have big gap downs and banks buy those at open. These big gap ups, short that at the open. Just fading the open has been a very, very strong day trade. Past week, I noticed. Even on vacation, I was paying attention to that.
There you go. Randy says the whole world has gone soft. We love Randy, don't we?
Yeah,
look at Bodine. He knows what to get long.
These are our people. This is why they watch us. They want to hear us talk like
we're buying Pfizer and Walmart. No.
Buy the Cialis. You get a delayed release. It lasts all weekend.
And in 36 hours, you're still good.
You'll still be in a hot tub overlooking the Pacific Ocean with your love. It's beautiful. What a wonderful thing to do.
All right, I gotta go. Market's about to open.
Fading's going against the move, Elizabeth. So if the stock market's up, buy puts. If it's down, buy calls. Or go long if it's down, short if it's up. Fade is to be against the market. Love you all. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, Lance.
Peace.